everyone. Welcome to another episode in our One Source Tax Provision Functionality series. In this episode, let's talk a little bit about the federal benefit of state. So we know in the United States, we are able to deduct the state taxes that we accrue, whether it be on the current calculation or on the deferred calculation. So whenever we set up a unit at a particular local jurisdiction, one of the things we have to say when we are setting up the jurisdiction is what's our federal deductibility rates. Okay, so if we set up the current deductible rate and the beginning and ending deferred deductible rates at 100%, we're saying that whatever our statutory rate is for the federal, we want to take that, multiply it by 100% and subtract it from the state amount that has been calculated. So in the US, it's 21%. So we would reflect states possibly at a net of 79%. So that kind of gets to the crux of what we need to talk about today. So we can determine how we want that to look. Some folks will have that federal benefit of state attached to their state. Others will have it attached to their federal. They're just different thoughts around how that should be. But within One Source Tax Provision, the default is to have it attached to your federal. So where do we find that? If we go into our dataset parameters, we will see something called a parameter called Fed Benefit of State. The parameter type is alphanumeric. Right now, my parameter value is Fed. What this impacts is if I go into my reporting area and look at my deferreds, because remember, when we've turned on that deductibility on the current side, that's flowing through to our tax provision area, and we'll jump into that after the deferreds. So on the deferreds, that impacts when we take a look at our options and our filter, it impacts where the federal benefit of state attaches to. So I'm going to, right now it's attached to my federal plus FBOS, right? So if I run my tax provision report currently, my unit breakouts, and I'm going to run it. Just collapse here and go directly to the deferred area. Right now, my deferred provision is 113,324, and that's because included in my deferreds is that federal benefit of state. So the state deferred provision that you see here is a pure state number. It's state only. I was mentioning we've turned on the deductibility on the current. So once we've done that, that allows that to run through here and get included in the overall federal taxable income that gets tax affected. So that FBOS toggle is not impacting that area. It's simply impacting the deferreds. So I'm going to change my toggle from Fed to state so that you can see the difference on the report. I'm going to save that. Okay, and now I'm going to first go to my deferreds. And you will see that now my options have attached the FBOS to the state area instead of the Fed that you'd seen before. And now I'm going to run the provision again. And we're going to take a look at those two areas we just saw. So if I go down to my deferred provision and look at my state, you will see now that my deferred provision on the federal has changed from the 113 to 21024. And now my state deferred provision has gone down. So this state deferred tax provision that you're seeing is a net number. So this is at 79%. And now my federal deferred provision is just pure federal tax only. That's it on just understanding how the toggle works from Fed to state. Look forward to seeing you on another episode in our tax provision functionality series.